Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm Reverend R. Ken welcoming you this wonderful morning for Talking the Fifth, which is an exciting session where we get to chat and talk and discuss various New Thought materials that comes from various places, let us say. And it is an exciting time. It is an exciting time because we share information that will allow us to, let me say, help us be better so we can do better. I mean, that's what we say we're about. We want to be better so that we can do better. Our actual programming starts in a few minutes. Let me just move myself a little bit, get a little closer. And there we go. Oh, that's better. So much better. A lot of good stuff today to actually get involved with, a lot of reading today because of the character and the type of material that we're dealing with. So I want to welcome all of you that have just logged on to our live Talking the Fifth. And some of you might want to say, well, where does that idea of Talking the Fifth come from? Well, Talking the Fifth came out of the fact that there's about 4, I think, or 5 fifth Sundays in each year. And we wanted to take that special time to do something very, very special. And so we have a reading, and we get into the depths of that reading a little bit more, I don't know if I would say more casual than our third Sunday, but it gives us 2 Sundays on certain months that we can interact. And this, of course, being one of them, Talking the Fifth. Let me remind you that next Sunday, which is the first Sunday in November, we will only be broadcasting on YouTube. Now, we will have notifications going out to remind you of that during the course of the week, but it will be YouTube only on November 5th, I believe it is. November 5th, YouTube only for Unity of Chicago South, and we will have the guided meditation. Boy, this reading was something special, wasn't it? Yeah, it really was. It was to me, because what it did was it allowed, let us say, me to evaluate my own practice. Now, not just my practice of, do I do the meditation and do I, spend that time each morning or each day, connecting, but actually living it, questioning the depths of my living it. And for that reason, I really appreciated the material from Genevieve Barrett. Now, it did come out of a chapter out of the book, Attaining Your Desires. So we took this chapter from the material from Making Your Subjective Mind Work for You. Now, this is something that's fairly common in New Thought and metaphysics, Christian metaphysics, however you look at it, knowing that you want to connect with your subconscious mind, but how do you connect with your subconscious mind? That's one of the things. And not only how do you connect with your subconscious mind, what do you do when you get there? Now, if you've been in this New Thought practice for any length of time, you have some ideas, and I certainly had some ideas of how that worked, and I've had some success with it, and I've had some situations where it didn't work out the way that I thought it would work out, but I was okay with that because I could justify how I approached it. Well, with our author Genevieve, she goes deep, but without going too deep. And this was laid out, this reading today, this material that we've had over a month, is laid out in such a way that the questions are already in place. So today I'm going to use the questions that are already in the material and kind of expand on the question and expand on the response from the sage. It's a conversation going on between the pupil and the sage. And I've come to understand that in this material, all of us are the pupil. All of us are definitely the pupil. And we can gain so much if we put ourselves in the position of the learners, the pupil, and allow what the sage is saying to come forth, okay? Now, I'm going to be reading, so you'll see me pop on my glasses on and off. And I want to start today with where the chapter starts. For those of you that have the material, and even if you don't have the material, you'll be able to follow along with today's session. It starts off with the most potent force in the universe is the influence of the subconscious mind. The proper training of the correlation between the subliminal and the objective faculties is the open sesame that unlocks the riches of all storehouses. The proper training of the correlation between the subliminal, and the objective. If we're not maybe producing like we want to produce, maybe in our field, maybe that correlation is not totally being implemented in our work. Mm-hmm. The faculty of remembering. So we have to remember, and then we can receive. And with remembering, there follows natural reflections, vision, knowledge, culture, and all that tends to make of man a God through in the germ. And that was Dr. Edwin Boulders. Okay. So now first, the question from the pupil. The subject of the subjective mind greatly interests me. I'm sure that I had understood what you have said concerning it. I would have realized that all that was necessary to obtain my desires was to think out exactly what I wanted, consciously place it in my subjective mind, and it would at once begin to attract ways and means for its corresponding physical or material fulfillment. I am sure that had I understood what you have said, if I had, I would have understood that what? I would have realized that it was necessary in order to obtain my desires to think out exactly what I wanted, consciously place it in my subjective mind, subconscious, and it would once begin to attract ways and means for its corresponding physical or mental fulfillment. We could really say that's the crux of today's reading. Had I understood, so we can ask ourselves, do I really understand the correlation, The correlation as we were told earlier, between the subliminal and the objective faculties, do I really understand it? But if I did, this is what I would have done. So ask yourself this: do you do this? Is this your practice? Is this your method of manifesting, of demonstrating, of bringing forth those things that you want in your life that are not there right now? Is this what you are doing? Okay? Think out exactly what I want. You should put that down, number one. Consciously place it in my subjective, subconscious mind. And then, it doesn't say no here, but then you must know that it would at once begin to attract ways and means. That's important. You know, you say, why is that so important? I tell you, it's so important because sometimes we think of what we want and we put a picture in our mind and then we say, well, what work do I have to do? How do I have to do this work? And what's being said here is that if I understood, I would understand that once I planted it in my subconscious mind, that it would attract ways and means to bring forth the idea that I planted into manifestation, into physical form. Those ways and means will come to me, and the action that I must take will come to me. So many times we'll plant that seed in the subconscious mind, and then we'll get back into the conscious side and say, okay, what is it that I need to do? Well, scripture says, fear not. It's the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. So maybe if, and according to our reading today, this is certainly true, the material, maybe if I concentrated on it's the Father's good pleasure to give it to me, I might be more in line with it coming into physical manifest form. So, Rev, what are you saying there? What are you saying? I don't need to do anything. I just sit back and it's magic. I don't have to do anything at all. No, I'm saying that maybe our focus should be on the process of the universe. It's your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom, as opposed to how do I get what it is that I want. I've already decided, some people call it outlining. You might have a treasure map, you might have a dream sheet, whatever it might be. You have planted, right? You have planted the idea of what you want in your mind. Now, what we learned from this reading today is that the next thing is to begin to focus on your truth. So if my truth is, hey, I've been told that if you want something, you work hard, you bust against the wall, you break through, that's your truth. And you will focus on it, and you will work that way to bring forth that idea that you planted in your subconscious mind. I'm not saying anything is wrong with that. I'm saying that this material gives us maybe a different way, possibly a better way. I'm not sure, because that's what you have to determine that yourself. But what we do know is that if you plant it in the subconscious mind, the same subconscious mind that developed you in the womb, you might be working with a power higher than this physical, conscious world that we think we live in. Okay, just give us some thoughts. So try it. Try it for 6 months. Hey, this is what I want. This is the idea. And I'm just going to think about, I'm going to think about the process of it coming into existence through the Creator, not through me, but the Creator. So it's the Creator's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. You plant the idea, And that idea is supposed to develop into a physical form. Your energy, though, is on the truth of that process. So I wake up today, I say I want a new car, I want more money, I want health, I want whatever it is I want. And I see right now that it's a lack, and we're going to talk about that in a second. It is not a lack, but let's just stay here. But I think it's a lack. I don't have it and I want it. I want more, whatever it may be. And so my focus is on more. I want more, which is telling my subconscious, even though I drop this idea of this beautiful car, house, whatever material thing it is, I'm also now telling my subconscious, my subjective, I'm saying, I don't have enough. Think about that. This is what I want, and I don't have enough. Well, I gave it what I wanted, and I'm just going to focus on keep, watching that picture, looking at that dream board. I'm going to keep projecting in my mind that whatever it is, and I'm going to say that I know it's coming. I'm doing all these good things, but I'm also saying that I don't have enough because I want more. And so what our reading today is saying, maybe not. Maybe after you place it in the subconscious mind, after you plant the seed, you then fertilize the seed with truth. Again, your truth. And if your truth is, I need more, you are fertilizing the subconscious with I need more, which indicates there's a lack. No way to get around it. I want more, there's a lack. You don't have enough, there's a lack. So you're saying, Reb, that you're saying that what I should do is I should just be thankful for what I have. It's a little deeper than that. We were taught that, and there's nothing wrong with that. But what about the next step? What about the next step? So I'm now saying I'm thankful for what I have, I'm grateful for what I have. And do I stop there? Well, no, that's good. Be grateful. Next is, where do you want your focus? You have it on gratitude. Where's the next place you want your focus? This is where some of us slip up. We get into, I'm grateful for what I have, but I want some more. Thank you so much, but I need this, whatever it might be, as opposed to, thank you for what I have. I'm grateful for what I have. And I know that the creative process is working right now to bring into manifestation, to bring into physical form the idea that I planted. Do you see the difference? And my truth of that is, it's the Father's good pleasure to give me the kingdom. My truth of it is, I'm a child of God, and all that God has is mine. The truth of it is, you see, that's a different process than I don't have enough. However you phrase, however you couch, I don't have enough, you don't want that in the creative process, because all it can do is say, right, you don't have enough. Okay, well, you keep telling me that I don't have enough. So I guess that's what you don't want to have enough, right? That's what, because you keep telling me that. You're not telling me that the creative process is working for me now. You're not telling me that you are one with the creative process. You came from that process, and all that you need comes from that process. All that you desire comes from that process, and you are one with that process in the midst of planting your desire in that subconscious mind. There is a difference. It may not be a great difference in your mind, but there is a difference according to our reading, according to this material. And I would suggest to you that if you have not downloaded it, that you go over to the website and that you downloaded. And I'm going to give you the website right now. This is for support, but you can go to that same website and you go to download, and it is right there. I didn't double space it. I space and a half, large font, and it still was only 25 pages. So it's much less than 25 pages. And what we're working with today is only 15 pages. And I don't know if we're going to get through those 15. It's just so important. Now, you say, well, scripture, you say, well, it's God's good pleasure. It's the Father's good pleasure. It's the creative process's good pleasure to give me the kingdom. I want to take you a step further on why we're saying this now, why she's saying this, why it makes sense if you think about it. There's a scripture, and I want to read this scripture to you. The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, the whole body shall be full of light. But if thine eye be evil, thy whole body shall be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great is that darkness? From the Revealing Word, Charles Fillmore's writings, says the single eye, searching quality of mind with keen observation that selects only that which is good. The single eye is open and receptive only to the guiding light of spirit. Well, we'll see. There was a person standing in line, and they got out of line for whatever reason. Then a person came up and just, moved in line, saw an open spot, moved in there. The person that was standing in line came back, and they made some comments and looked real strange. And the person looked back and said, were you standing there? Well, no one was standing there at the time. Were you standing there? And they said, yes, I was standing here. So the person that had stepped in line said, fine, okay, and searched for another line. When the person that had moved out of the line because someone said they had been standing there even though they weren't present, walked out the store, the person that said they were standing in that spot was still there. They both had the same number of items. What does that mean? There was a time, if that were me, I would have probably said, hey, you know what? I'm here now. I don't know what your problem is. But this person said, okay, fine. I don't see it as a problem. I'm not confronting you about anything. This is a small thing, but there's no confrontation here. You see, because I'm looking for the good, the single eye, I'm looking for the good at all times. I'm not defining the good. I'm not saying what is good and what is not. I am seeking the good. And as Fillmore writes, he says, that single eye seeks out the spiritual good. So if I am in line with that single eye, if I have moved into that spiritual consciousness, that spiritual place, then I don't have to do a whole lot of work to keep myself in order, because I'm in order because I have moved into, I only see the good. Driving down the street, somebody cuts in front of you, I only see the good. I'm not trying not to be mad. I have now changed my focus from, I'm not going to be angry. I'm not going to let these people bother me. I'm a child to, I'm just looking for the good. And if I keep looking for the good and I keep telling my subconscious that I only want the good, that I only see the good, not that I want it, because that says a little bit of a lack. I don't have it, but I only see the good. The subconscious says, cool. Let's do that. Let's only see the good. And what does our material say? It will what? It will begin to attract ways and means for its corresponding physical and material fulfillment. I only see the good. It will now say, okay, we got to show you good. We got to show you good. Not I'm a good person. Not that you know what? We've tried that, right? Many of us have tried that. Yeah, I'm just going to be good. I'm just going to pray. I'm just going, hey, get that single eye. I only see good. I don't know the situation. I'm not trying to evaluate it. I don't know when I'm going to see this and when I'm going to see that. But when the challenge comes, I only see good. I'm not forgiving anyone. They don't know what they're doing. I'm not above them. I only see good. So I'm not worried because that's all I'm seeing. That's all I'm telling my subconscious to bring for me, bring toward me, bring to me, bring in me is the good. The good is going to come out of the situation no matter what. I don't have to deal with it. I'm dealing with it by saying, I only see the good. I'm single-eyed. I only see the good. That's my work. That's the effort I have to put in, because that's a heck of do of an effort. A hecky do of an effort. Becoming single-eyed. I only see prosperity. Well, you see that poor man said, I only see prosperity. That's all I see. I'm telling my subconscious, I'm not trying to be righteous and tell my fellow passenger, I only see the good. No, I'm telling my subconscious, I'm single-eyed and I just see good. I now understand that by me telling my subconscious that, it's not doing something for me as a great person, but it is saying, I understand my assignment. My assignment is to work to bring only good, because that's the only thing you're feeding me is I only see good. So I don't have a choice to say, here's a comparison, good or bad. Which one is it? I can only bring you good, because that's all you're feeding me is that idea that I only see good. I only see good. Now, you might have to be a little careful, because with life itself, there are things that are not good. And if you tell people, I only see good, they're saying, you're a sick puppy. There's nothing good in that situation. But you realize now it is not a facade. It is not for other people. It's between you and your subconscious, and you're programming it for what it is you want to appear in your life. More good. But you're not telling it, I need more good, because the need. Need. It hears the need, say, okay, there's some lack going on. There's some lack. And you keep telling me about the lack. So I'll give you a little lack and I'll give you a little good. I only see good. But that's a conversation that's happening, if it's proper, between you and your subconscious self. Wow. I'm just trying to think of another good one. My bank account is overflowing. My bank account is overflowing. My bank account is overflowing. Money flows through me. Now, how do we get there? That comes a little bit later in the material today, but we want to get into it now before our session ends. They talk about, the student and the sage talk about, let me get to it, getting into the spirit of your desire. Getting into the spirit of your desire. And this is what the sage says about getting into the spirit of your desire. The process is quite different from that of retaining an idea in the so-called intellectual mind. It is necessary, above all else, to get into the spirit of your desire. And an effort to feel relaxed and confident will help you do it. The spirit of a thing is that which is the source of its inherent movement. I only see good. So it's not just those words, but it's now the feeling of the good. When I say I only see good, I want to feel that good. I don't need images to feel that good. I need a feeling to arise. I need to invoke a feeling of good when I say I only see good. Wow, that feels so nice. I only see good. But again, that's a conversation between myself, yourself, and your subconscious. It is not for sharing. Some of this, if you have been in New Thought for a while, you know about, oh, you don't tell people. Well, there's a reason for that. It's not about them. It's about the relationship that you're working to build between your conscious, your thinking, your imaging, and your subconscious. That's all it's about. It has nothing to do with you can't tell people because they're going to be negative. They might not. That's not relevant. What's relevant is the relationship you are creating between the image, the feeling of the image, the feeling of the image, right? And your subconscious. And making sure that flow, as Reverend Bonnie likes to say, and as my mentor, Reverend Nick, introduced to me years ago, you want to synchronize. You want to synchronize that I only see good with the feeling of good and the conversation of good always go into your subconscious mind no matter what. And you don't fight it. That was terrible. I only see good. That doesn't mean you don't see it. You don't see right now war, devastation. It's not that you don't see it. You do see it. Yeah, I see it. And you might not be strong enough to see it. You may need to not look because you're not strong enough to see it and not allow it to interfere with the relationship that you're building with your subconscious. Because you're building a new relationship. I know you've been talking to yourself for years. I got it. But we're talking about a new relationship. This is a relationship that you now understand is the foundation for bringing forth that which you desire, attaining your desire through the work of your subconscious mind. So you know you're on a different pattern now. The dream board is important to give you an image to plant into your subconscious. But once you plant it in your subconscious, I don't say throw the board away. I say it's still there, but it's not serving the same purpose. It's a reminder now, oh yeah, that's right, that car. Oh yeah, that house. Oh yeah, that pile of money. Whatever it might be, it's a reminder, but the real work now is going on inside of you. The real work is, what's the feeling of being in that house? What's the feeling of good every day? What's that feeling? That's the work. Many times we look at our dream boards and we say, why hasn't it happened? Why hasn't it happened? I've been looking at this board. I've been praying. I've been tithing. I've been giving. But have you been tithing, not just money substance? Have you been tithing your mentality to be away from that which does not support I only see good? Even though those situations are going to come up in your life. Remember that person in line. There's a situation that's like, hey, what are you talking about? You weren't here. The person can say, you weren't here in line. What are you talking about? You were here. You weren't here. It was open. I wouldn't be here if you were here. Or they could go through all of that. And then when they got through, they could say, oh, I'm a child of God. I should live. Or they could say, oh, well, you know, since you were here, I'm a child. I'm just a good Christian. I'll let these people go. Or it could just be, I only see the good. So whatever's going on here is some good. There's some good. I don't know where it's at, but I'm good with it. I know I don't want confrontation with the good that I need to see. So, hey, have it. And find out, here's the good, you out of the store. So again, it's a little bit different, right? But it's so important. When I say it's a little bit different than, hey, I'm a child of God, I'm Christian, whatever that is, right? But it's like, even what's going on, I'm telling my subconscious, hey, you know what? We only see the good. So I have no idea, I have no clue of what's happening here. And to reinforce it to the point that the subconscious says, well, I can only attract the good. I can only draw the good because that's all we see. So I have to draw that to you to manifest it in your life. That's what this material is helping us understand. It's another important point. Okay, we have to see whatever it is. We have to have that conversation going on with our subconscious on a regular basis after we have created the vision, the image that we want to plant in our subconscious. Now that's the conversation that goes on, but it goes on with the understanding, with the positivity of the creative process and knowing that it's good for us. We came here with the creative process. That's how we got here. And so it's like, hey, how do I find that to keep on telling my subconscious that? I gave you an example. You have to find your own, but I just wanted to give you one. It's the Father's good pleasure to give me the kingdom. So I already have the kingdom. It's the Father's good pleasure to give it to me. I already have the kingdom. The kingdom is manifesting for me right now. You see, you find scriptures there for your use. Yeah. I only see the good, single eye. Next, what do we have to do? We have to feel relaxed about it. We have to get past the intellectual seeing the image. We have to get past it to the feeling of the image. And when they tell us that in the creative process, if we've been in New Thought Again for a while, you need to smell the leather in the car, walk through the house. That's all about generating a feeling for the image that you've dropped into the subconscious. And now you want to enhance that image with the feeling that goes along with it. So when you think of it, you can energize your subconscious and say, "Woo, yeah, I'm excited about seeing the good. Yeah. Right? Right. And the third thing, and that was getting into the spirit. You want to get into the spirit of the thing. The sage tells you this. Your subjective mind is in essence the same as the universal subjective mind, with which it is inseparably connected. I am one with God. But I understand it now differently. God is the creative process. I got here because of the creative process. I'm part of the creative process. And I'm one with the creative process. And the creative process is one with me. That's where I'm at now. I'm not on, I got to create this. I need to do this to do this. Because there will be tasks for me to do, and those tasks will be brought forth through the work of my subconscious mind and me cooperating with it. It is beyond intellectual. You could say, this one just came to me. This is a rough one. As we walk around in need of whatever it might be, I'm intellectually poor, but I'm subconsciously rich. Now, I need to connect with that subconscious richness. And one of the ways I do it is not living in the intellectual poverty of my thinking, my conversation with myself, not with you or you, but with myself. That's the conversation that has been lacking. Call it self-talk. Well, Reverend Helen Carey, rest her soul, would say, when people would say to her, practice makes perfect, she would say, perfect practice makes perfect. So if I'm practicing my self-talk and it's not the right practice, I'm not talking about getting to perfection. And if I'm saying I need more money, that is not perfect practice. I need more health. That is not perfect practice. I need more God. That is not perfect practice. I need more love. That is not perfect practice. That's practice, but it's not the perfect practice, because the perfect practice is identifying that those things already exist. And you're asking your subconscious to manifest them. Manifest what already is, and I'm going to give you a seed to work from, to let you know how I want it in my life. Okay? This is how I want it in my life. Wow. Okay, I said there was, so it's one mind, different levels of access. There was another point I definitely want to, there's so much here. It's just so rich. Spiritual prototype, excuse me. Spiritual prototype. The sage says, the simplest method of finding a spiritual prototype of any object is to ask yourself, to what use is it to be put? What does it stand for, in other words? What is the reason for its being? I am a magnet for the inflow and the outflow of positive money substance. What the heck you do is the money substance for? That's what he's saying. What's it for? Well, so I can live a better life. Okay, let's break that down. What does that mean? So I can have nice clothes. Okay, and why? So that I will look nice and feel nice. Okay, and what for? You see, you're breaking it down to what is the purpose of whatever I'm talking about. I only see the good. So why? Why do I see the good? Because that's a positive energy in my life. It's healthy for me. It allows me to be a better person. And we go, that's why I want it. Well, I want it so I can help people. If I had money, I would help people. Huh? If I had money, this is what I would do for myself. These are the things that I would do for me. And in doing these things for me, I would become a better person. And becoming a better person would allow me to share my better personness with other folk. So I would be a blessing to society. Again, it's up to you as an individual how you break it down. But this prototype is getting into the spirit again of whatever it is that, whatever our desire is, whatever that desire is. And that's so important. So we want the feeling, but we also want the spirit into that prototype of what really is it? What is, I want the money for what, I want the house for what, why do I want it? Because I deserve it. That's the best you can do. That's the best you can do. We're not fighting. We're not fighting. We are not fighting. It has been, it's been a challenge because I'm saying this is so rich. It is so rich. We could do a whole series on just this one chapter. We could probably do a 2 to 3 week series of, once on this whole chapter. I see another note here I want to share with you that I think is important as we close out. He talks about the feeling of protection is talking about, and this is the case of a house. It doesn't matter. The feeling of protection is established within yourself through your knowledge that you are protected by the Almighty, ever-present, intelligent power of life. Surely you know you are alive, and this understanding brings a sense of security, which locks the doors or bars the window, which locked doors or barred windows cannot give. So what's being said here? Establish, know that you already have this oneness, you already have this relationship because you have life. That is proof that the creative process is continuing to work in you, through you, and around you. Wow. So it's important to establish that it's already present. I think we started with that, and so it will be a great place to end. But there's one other thing that I want to make sure we do before we end, and I think it ties in here together. The next one is the pupil asks, I see, one should endeavor to keep the suggestions of one's real self. What is our real self? What is my real self? What is your real self? I can define it for you over and over again, but until you accept a definition of your real self, it won't matter. So define your real self. What do we mean by that? I'm really a man, I'm a woman, I'm up, I'm down, I'm black, I'm white, No. Because you are here, and this is part of this lesson today, because you are here, your real self is to be part of the creative process. Your real self is one with the creative process. Your real self is the ability to allow the creative process to work through you. I am one with all men. I am one with God. Your real self, not your name, not your nationality, not your status. Each one of us has the spirit of the creative process within us. That's our real self, that spirit. And it is connecting with that real self that helps us bring forth those things that we want in our life. Well, we are here. So, our real self, make sure we get into the feeling, the spirit of the thing. Get to the prototype, meaning I need to know why this makes sense, what this means to me in my life. Do all those things, which is, 3 or 4, not a lot. Have the single eye. I'm only focused on the good. I'm only focused on the prosperity. I'm only focused on me getting more. No, don't do that. Don't do that. It's not about me getting more. Because again, you're telling your subconscious, if I need more, that means I don't have enough. And I keep telling you I don't have enough every time I say I need to get more. No. Find scripture that works, that you can hold on to. It's the Father's good pleasure to give me the kingdom. Find a poem. Find a line in a poem that works for you. Find a definition that works for you. You don't need a lot. Sometimes we overload. Sometimes we put too much on ourselves. And the intellect says, I have so much. I just want to pour it out. I want to use it here and I want to use it there. And the subconscious is saying, hey, dude, hey, lady, just give me a direction. That's all I want. All of that nuance and I don't need, that's not how I operate. I only operate on bringing forth what you give me. So give me something that I can bring forth for you. And I've been doing it all your life, regardless of whether you were aware of it or not, because that's my job. That's all I can do. I can't do anything else. That's my one purpose. And if that's the job of the subconscious, if that's the one purpose, then doesn't it make sense for us to begin to build up a very positive relationship with that one trick pony? I think so. And if you really give it some thought, you would agree. We are at the end. We've gone over a little bit. We want to stay around the 45, 50-minute mark. We're right around that that point, you do see on the screen how you can contact us if you want prayer support, or if you want to just connect with us. You can use that same number. Let me show you how to do that, and we're going to sign out. Yeah, there you go. So if you want to learn more about us, just text that number. We're modern, we're online. We're the number one online New Thought community streaming from Chicago. We're very proud of that fact. We're growing. We'd like you to be a part of growing with us, no matter when you're watching this and where you're watching it from. So if you text connect, we have a whole series of information, an information series that you can learn more about us in a very, very safe way. Nobody's going to call you. Nobody's going to drop by. Nobody's going to send you anything extra. It's a few texts, maybe about 6 texts that you get that are interactive. If you want to know more, you can know more. I'm Reverend R. Ken. I want to thank you so much for being with us today. This is our special event, Fifth Sunday, where we are broadcasting on all platforms, LinkedIn, Twitch, well, not Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. And remember that next week, November 5th, we will only be on YouTube. We will have a guided meditation up on YouTube next week, starting at the same time, 11 o'clock. I thank you so much for being here today. I say to you that you are a powerhouse of spiritual possibilities, all waiting for you to play with that one-trick pony and tell it exactly what you want and how you want it. I thank you again. I say to you, namaste. Until next time, this is Reverend R. Ken at Unity of Chicago South, the number one online New Thought spiritual community streaming from Chicago. God bless.